case of the missing cats, Harper. My neighbor and I have been friends for a long time, of the same age, and shared a special bond. We had always been there for each other, from school projects to bike rides through the streets. But, over time, a growing sense of unease crept into our lives. One by one, something strange began to happen. Our neighborhood cats began to go missing, leaving us deeply upset and confused. It was really hard for us, especially when my friend's beloved cat was among the vanished. Driven by a shared determination, my friend and I began to unravel the truth behind the mysterious disappearances. Our concern deepened as we uncovered a pattern. Every cat that vanished had a connection to a particular street. Following this lead, we found ourselves standing before a house, nestled inconspicuously among the others in our peaceful neighborhood. My friend wanted to call the police first, but I rejected that idea as that the police had been ignoring our complaints and didn't believe us. That is why we decided to take matters into our own hands in the first place. We argued, so we split up, and he decided to go to ask the local police for help. My friend wanted to call the police first, but I rejected that idea as the police had been ignoring our complaints and didn't believe us. That is why we decided to take matters into our own hands in the first place. I can't blame them. We do have quite a reputation of being rebellious in the neighborhood. I wanted to find evidence first, so I decided to enter the building. As my heart pounded, I slowly approached the door, determined to find the truth, my trembling hand slowly grasping the cold doorknob. It was locked, but I easily unlocked it using a bobby pin. Once inside, the stench of despair and fear drowned me. Cages lined the basement, each containing a terrified cat, eyes filled with haunting terror. Many were meowing noisily, as if to beg me to get them out of this hell. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. What a psychopath! Some of them were hurt and roughly bandaged. How could they cruelly inflict such pain upon these innocent creatures? My breath ragged as I studied the dimly lit basement. The flickering light bulb added an eerie vibe down the damp, moldy walls. One cat, a delicate Siamese, met my gaze with eyes that seemed as filled with despair. Those poor eyes tore at my soul. I somehow realized that these animals had endured untold horrors, trapped in this nightmarish dungeon. As I inched closer to the cages, trying to maintain my composure, the psychopath's intentions became chillingly clear. There were signs of torture, the marks of a deranged mind, etched into the walls and floor. I felt their despair. My eyes were watery for the torment they had to endure, my own breath now mirroring the anxious panting of the innocent prisoners. I found Luca, my friend's cat, staring at me in horror. He seemed to be too tired and traumatized even to make sounds. My fingers, trembling with a mix of fear and anger, instinctively reached for my phone. I needed to document this nightmare, to have evidence that would help bring this monster to justice. I stealthily snapped a photo, the faint click of the camera barely audible over the soft cries of the imprisoned felines. But my curiosity proved my undoing. As I tried to snap a photo as evidence, the creaking of a floorboard alerted the psychopath to my presence. He suddenly appeared and lunged at me, wielding a rusted knife. My screams echoed through the basement as he drew closer. His laughter was just so sickening. His face, I had never seen such madness in my life, was filled with menace. In that moment, I was cornered, and there was no escape. The acrid smell of fear permeated the air as I backed into a cage, the sharp edges of its bars digging into my back. I could feel my pulse pounding in my throat, my heartbeats echoing through the room like a war drum signaling my impending doom. I did learn martial arts, but this guy is strong and has a weapon. The blade glinted in the dim light as he closed in, his maniacal grin growing wider. He seemed to notice my terror, feeding off it like a predator. As he raised the knife, poised to strike, I mustered my energy to kick him on his torso. The world around me blurred, and time seemed to slow to a crawl. I noticed he was on the floor, groaning as he held his torso in pain, but slowly gaining composure himself. I also noticed that the rusted knife made a large enough cut on my left thighs. I wasn't sure if I could protect myself at this point. Then, in the distance, the haunting wail of police sirens pierced the silence, growing louder and more urgent with each passing second. The psychopath froze, his deranged smile faltering. Panic gripped him as he realized the police were closing in. As the sirens blared and the sound of approaching footsteps echoed in the basement, the madman's eyes widened with a mixture of fear and rage. He hesitated, torn between finishing what he started and fleeing to escape justice. In that critical moment, the door burst open, and a group of armed police officers stormed the basement, their weapons drawn. Shouting commands, they moved swiftly to apprehend the psychopath, who, in his panic, dropped the knife and raised his hands in surrender. The room was lit up in the cold, unforgiving light of police flashlights, revealing the horrors within. As the officers arrested the kidnapper and rescued the cats, I felt a mix of relief and dread wash over me. I had narrowly escaping a gruesome fate. The horrors I had uncovered were beyond comprehension, and my neighborhood would never be the same. The rescued cats, freed from their cages, their trembling bodies slowly relaxing as they were carried to safety. The Siamese, the one that had met my gaze earlier, was among them, and I couldn't help but feel a profound sense of connection with the fragile souls I had vowed to protect. The psychopath was led away in handcuffs, his eyes filled with a twisted mix of defiance and fear. Justice would be served, and the neighborhood could finally breathe a collective sigh of relief as the police secured the scene and the rescued cats were taken to safety. I couldn't help but reflect on the terrible ordeal the cats had to go through. I had stumbled upon a nightmare, a hidden world of cruelty, and my life would forever be marked by the haunting images of that basement. The cats would heal and find new homes, but the scars left on my soul would never fully fade. The horror story of the neighborhood's missing cats was over, but the nightmares that would haunt my sleep were just beginning. If you found any enjoyment in the video, I implore you to click that like button and subscribe if you dare.